Breaking news out of India this morning. A number of people have been killed in a mass stampede. This happened at a Hindu festival. Pilgrims jumped barricades in a rush to a sacred river. Ambulances racing to a local hospital carrying the injured there. Authorities have yet to release the number of casualties, but local media are reporting at least 10 people have died and many others were hurt. From the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, he called this incident extremely sad and extended his condolences. Let's bring in our East Asian correspondent, Salima Shivji, who is live in Mumbai this morning. Salima, we've talked about this big festival, how it's attracting millions and millions, and of course, tragedy now striking right in the heart of this. What has happened here?
Well, what we know is that the crowd surges happened in the very early hours of Wednesday, and this is the biggest and most auspicious day of this massive religious gathering, the world's largest gathering. And today alone, officials were expecting about 100 million people converging on that area, on the holy city in the northern Uttar Pradesh state here in India. What appears to have happened was that some of the devotees, actually quite a few of them, were actually sleeping along the riverbanks, along the Ghats, to get a prime spot for a dip in the holy waters, because this is, of course, a very important location. In Hinduism, it is one of the most holiest spots where the Ganges, the Yamuna rivers, and the mythical Saraswati rivers converge. And so there were, many hundreds and thousands of devotees sleeping on the riverbank when a crowd surged and moved towards the rivers to bathe as well, to get a dip in those holy waters. And then chaos ensued. We heard from many eyewitnesses who said that there was a crush of people really surging from many different directions. A lot of people were pulled under, and there was pushing and shoving, and many couldn't get up. I'll let one eyewitness describe how he saw what happened.
सर जी बोलते हैं कि उनको भीड़ भाड़ भाई कि धक्का मुक्की में जो गिरे से फिर दोबारा नहीं उठा आदमी वहीं गिरा फिर तो लाश उठाने को मिली वहाँ।
So the rescue was frantic, and now it appears that the vast majority of the festival has gone back to normal. Many millions of devotees are still going in to dip in those waters, while those who were affected by this stampede that is, already deadly and with many others injured, they are just searching desperately for information outside the hospital mortuaries, grieving and worried about what happened. A lot of people are missing their family members as well, as they were separated within that crowd surge that happened near the riverbanks. As you mentioned, India's Prime Minister has expressed condolences to those who lost loved ones in this. But what is actually really telling here is that we do not yet have an official confirmation of how many people have died or how many are injured. And that is many, many hours after this crash happened and after the area, the prime location where this happened, was cleared. So that is pretty important. This is a really important festival, not only for the many Hindu devotees who are converging on the area, but also for the Indian government, who have been talking in the few weeks of this festival. It lasts 45 days. They've been talking about how much they've invested actually in security and in managing the crowds at this festival.
Well, that was going to be a little bit of my question as we look at these pictures and know that tens of millions of people are arriving for this sacred rite of bathing at the confluence, the convergence of those rivers. What is the level of security? What kinds of measures are in place, Salima?
Well, yeah, it's hard to overstate the size and the scale of this festival. And like I mentioned, the authorities have been talking about how much they're relying on technology and on AI to actually track in real time alerts if there were crowd surges. So that was in place for this gathering because officials knew that they were expecting around 400 million people in the area over the 45 days. So I think for a lot of the grieving family members and those who have lost people in this deadly stampede, a lot of those people are going to be asking what exactly went wrong here.
Salima, thank you. It's good to see you this morning, live reporting out of Mumbai, our Salima Shivji.